Hi, I'm Chris Clark, President and CEO of the Queen Creek Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to Meet the Candidate. Today we're joined by Peter Anello, candidate for Legislative District 15 State Representative. Peter, welcome.
I am pleased to be here. Thank you, Chris, for inviting me to this. A little bit about myself. I am running for State Representative in LD 15, and my name is Peter Anello. I am a grassroots conservative. I am married for 42 years to the same woman. I have 3 grandchildren. I am a combat veteran. I spent a year in Iraq fighting for our country. I was a police chaplain for 7 years with the Tacoma Police Department. And I also pastored for 10 years. I'm a member of the American Legion Queen Creek Post 129, where I currently serve as their adjutant and chaplain. I volunteer at the Queen Creek High School with the JROTC in their shooting sports events, where I'm training the young cadets on gun safety and how to be better marksmen in their shooting. I am a precinct committeeman. I'm a state committeeman. I'm a state delegate. And what PC's precinct committeemen do is we educate our neighbors on candidates, on bills, on initiatives to make sure they're aware of what's going on. A lot of people don't pay too much attention to politics. And one of the things that we like to do as precinct committeemen is to make sure our neighbors understand what's going on and answer any questions that they might have. We want to keep people informed on everything that's happening in Arizona.
Sure.
Some of the things I'm really concerned about is the border is number one. I think everybody's concerned about the border.
Well, let's talk just a second, though, about how long have you lived in the district?
Okay.
And which part of the area did you move to?
Okay. I live in Eastmark in Encore. I've been in the district for 6 years, been in Arizona for 7 years. We rented when we first came. So been here quite some time, been very, very active in the community.
And what do you do for work now?
I work for an insurance company as their marketing person, and the company's in Tacoma, Washington, so I like to call it Smile and Dial. I'm on the phone, and I set appointments for the broker to go out and sell the insurance.
And then how did you become a precinct committeeman, and how did you get involved with the party?
Well, back in 2020, I was very disappointed in what happened with the election, and so I said I'm done with it, I'm finished with it. But in my neighborhood, there was a conservative club, so I went to that and wanted to get involved. And when I spoke to David Winstanley, who's in charge of the conservative club, and I said, I want to get involved. He said, well, you can't. And I said, why? He said, because you're not a Republican, because I had switched from Republican to independent because I was disappointed. And I said, okay, I'll become a Republican again. So I did. And then I started getting involved, and he said, why don't you become a precinct committeeman? So I put in the paperwork for that. That is an elected position. So I became a precinct committeeman. Then I became a state committeeman.
So to get the precinct position, you had to be elected by your neighbors. The precinct is the smallest of the...
Right, and coming, you'll see it again on this ballot coming out. There's a group of us that are listed. If there is not enough spots being filled, then you're just appointed. And if there's a full slot, then you get on the ballot. So we'll be on the ballot in July 30th for that.
Very good. So you were about to tell us a little bit about what your key issues are. So you became a precinct committeeman, but then there was an opening. Ms. Parker, Representative Parker, is not running for re-election. And so why did you decide to run for office?
Well, when Jackie said she wasn't going to run anymore, I looked at the current candidates that had thrown their hats in the ring, and I believed that none of them were going to be able to stand up to her morals and her agenda that she had put forth in the Capitol all this time. And so I threw my hat in the ring. I wasn't planning on doing that, but I wanted to make sure that we have a slim margin right now in the Capitol, and I didn't want to lose that margin because people have fought so hard to keep that. And so I threw my hat in the ring.
And you're referring to Republicans and Democrats.
Yes.
We have a small Republican lead in the State House.
Yes, we do. We do. And I didn't want to lose that, so I threw my hat in the ring.
And so then what were the key issues that you were running on?
Number one, so I'll talk about was the border. I'm concerned because there's been 30 to 40,000 military-age Chinese men that have come across the border. You cannot leave China unless you get permission from the government to leave. They're coming here, they're not married, there's no wives, there's no children, just military-age men. That's 3 to 4 divisions. I spent time in the military, I know what a division consists of. And China has bought up land around military bases. I'll let the viewers put 2 and 2 together about having 40,000 military-age men here outside of our military bases. I'm concerned about that.
And how do we know that there's 30 to 40,000?
It's been reported. People have been, the border's keeping track of that. It's not my numbers, it's the numbers that are coming across from the government.
Okay. And is it possible they escaped China in some form or fashion?
Again, you can't leave China unless you get permission. They have tight control on their people. And that's a lot of Chinese people coming in here. Mm. So I'm concerned. That's a big concern to me.
Absolutely. So what can we do to secure the border at the state level?
Well, one of the things we can do is we need to identify who's here that shouldn't be here. Mm. And then we need to give power to ICE to be able to remove those who don't belong here. And
that's going to involve the federal government, ICE being a federal organization. But at the state level, do you think there's anything that can be done from the State House specifically?
What the state can do, they can help pass some laws and regulations. There's a lot of stuff on the books right now, but nobody's really following the law. Enforcing them, exactly. So they can, make sure they're enforced or create new laws that say, okay, we need to monitor who's here and make sure we're not going to have another 9/11 on our own, front doorstep here.
Sure. What were some of your other key issues?
Election integrity. I think if you're a Republican, a Democrat, or Independent, everybody wants to make sure that their vote is counted and that it's going to the person they voted for or to the initiative that they checked in the box. Everybody wants to make sure that that's correct. And that's a constitutional right that we have as American citizens, is voting. And we want to make sure that our votes are secure. I think one of the things that we can do, just for a start, is have voter ID. Now, some people say voter ID is racist. I say it's not racist to get a bank account and showing voter ID. It's not racist when you go to get a driver's license, you have to show ID. Why would it be racist to show a voter ID to have that when you have to go to vote? So I think that's just an excuse that people make. I think that's one thing that we can do to curb, to make sure that citizens are voting and not people that should not be voting.
Yeah, a very important topic. What do you, as a veteran, what do you think about the mail-in ballots?
I think mail-in ballots, or when I was overseas, I got them. I had no idea what happened with them, but I filled them out and sent them in. Mail-in ballots, that's a necessity here in the state because you have people that can't get out. But I think there should be that if you know that that's somebody that's wheel-bound, paralyzed, or whatever, veterans, they need mail-in ballots. But if you're able-bodied and you can make it, I think you should be able to go to the polls. And I remember doing that my very first time I voted. It was like, wow, I'm going to the poll. It was exciting. You get you stand in the line and you showed your ID and you voted, and that was a good thing. That's part of what we do as Americans.
Yeah, it's certainly different than many places in the world, right? So immigration reform, election, what else is on your mind?
Well, some of the things I'm concerned about is I'm a fiscal conservative, which means that I think we should balance the budget and we should have guidelines in there that we're not overspending. We need to shrink government. There are government agencies right now, because the legislator got lazy, they put off their responsibilities to other organizations, and those organizations started making laws. Lawmakers are legislators, not these quasi-agencies that are out there. So I think that we need to shrink government and take some of the power back away from that they gave away. Legislators need to take that power back so that we can do the job that we're supposed to be doing. We're making laws, not these quasi-agencies.
Any particular agency you have in mind?
Well, there's a lot of agencies out there. You got the school boards, not the school boards, the educational agencies. You've got, I'm drawing a blank right now because I'm getting old. Sorry.
That's okay. So taking the power back from the regulatory agencies and fiscally conservative policies, anything else that's on your mind?
Yes, I'm for school choice. I think parents have the right to determine where this child goes to school, whether it's a public school, a home school, a charter school, a private school. I think it's up to the parent to decide that. And I think that vouchers are a good thing for the parents to make that choice because they know where their kids are going to learn the best. And so I'm definitely for school choice. I want to see that happen.
And so one of the questions that's being debated right now is, for example, somebody using a school voucher that's well off, already attending a school such as Brophy or Xavier, and using tax money to pay for a private school. And you feel that the voucher program is okay to do that, to money follows the child, is what you're saying.
Right, and it should be that it's up to the parent, whether you're rich or not, or poverty-stricken. The vouchers for the parent to make that decision, and so it doesn't matter if people have the money and they want to pay it out of their own pocket, that's fine. But the voucher's there to help make sure that the children go to the schools of choice of the parent.
Very good. Did we cover your platform?
Well, one of the things I want to say also that I am running on a slate. I'm running with Senator Jake Hoffman and Representative Neil Carter and myself. The three of us are running together. And I'm the only candidate, other than Neil Carter, that's been endorsed by Jackie Parker, the one who's vacating the seat. She endorses me 100%, and I appreciate her endorsement.
And where can people see that endorsement and find out more information about you?
They can go to electpeteranello.com, and all my endorsements are on there. So I would advise them to go there to learn more about me. I have my issues on there, put my thoughts on there so they can get more information about me.
Wonderful. Well, Peter, thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me.
And good luck at the elections.
I appreciate that. Thank you.